hello, and ask what is going on with you guys? What's happening on your end? What is going on with your life? What is going on with you guys planning for the holidays? What did you do for Thanksgiving? Um, I actually spent Thanksgiving very quiet. I cooked and prepared food for, well, just to give out, I guess, because most of everything that I prepared, I ended up sharing out once my husband and I ate. I give to taxi driver, my electrician, my brother. Um, just give it out to folks because there was really no reason to keep all that food. Um, if y'all know me, I'm not really into the kitchen as much, but a couple of times out of the year, I really do hit the kitchen and do some magnificent work. But that's because I can do recipe cooking really well. So I for Thanksgiving in Guyana, I ended up doing. Oh, I looked for over an hour and a half to find turkey. By the way, um, walked to about five or six different stores, and then finally found one place. I think it's called Balak on the Wismar. I'm sorry, in the Mackenzie Market. That's where I found turkey. I found a whole one. Ended up paying about $60 for that turkey, but man, it was well worth it. It's more like 50 something dollars, but it was still well worth it. Because especially because I couldn't find it, I found out, and also that those particular turkeys, they're whole turkeys. Because I originally wanted the wings to make like to make turkey wings instead of the whole turkey, because I wasn't sure if I got a turkey if it would come out as soft and tender the way I wanted it done. Because I wasn't sure about the quality of turkey in Guyana. But come to find out that they actually also ship in their turkeys as well. So I think that turkey came in from Minnesota. So I had turkey from Minnesota. So when I knew the pack from the packaging right away that it was definitely from the U.S. But I wasn't sure where. My husband is like, "Oh no, it's probably from right here," and I'm like, "Nah." I said the way they packaged it alone, there's a difference in the way Guyana package things in like clear plastic bags versus in the US where we package like in detail, and you have to put all everything that's on in that what has been mixed with that particular meat or whatever you have to, or whatever ingredients you're purchasing. So you have to really put it on the package. You have to go by CDC standards. You have to go by all these standards in the US that Guyana doesn't follow all those standards, unfortunately. So I knew right away that it wasn't. I'm talking about my Thanksgiving turkey, living in Guyana, right, and doing Thanksgiving here in Guyana. So for me, I did find a turkey in the market after checking about six or so stores. I found it at this place called Bollock Meat Market in on the Mackenzie Shore. Because I'm living in Linden, in case you didn't know. Hi, Connor. How is it? Is it Connor? USA. All right. Yeah. So I found it and I ended up purchasing that turkey for about 60 US dollars, almost 60 US dollars. But it was so worth it. I'm not even sure what turkey is worth in the US now because I haven't been home for a minute, right? So it's probably a lot more with all the prices hiking. So I personally purchased a turkey because I wanted turkey right here in South America. So and it wasn't local turkey. So that turkey was shipped in from Minnesota, like I said before, and I was more than happy to find it in the first place. So I am excited about doing Thanksgiving overseas. What I want to do is have in the future to have turkey, Thanksgiving Day for repats or expats who are living here in Guyana and in the area and who wants to come by and do Thanksgiving dinner with us. So at our lounge. So we'll see what happens next year. I didn't do it this year because obviously with the lounge. Even though the lounge is fully prepared, the dining hall is fully prepared as well. We were still doing so much construction that we didn't want to pull, you know, funds away from doing that, and then focus on, having events. That it didn't make sense. So, closing off the year makes sense, and then doing something new. So in 2025, what I found from my experience, what I found is that I needed to focus more on self, and I needed to focus more on health and wealth, taking care of myself mentally, spiritually, physically. And even though I've talked about these things before, actually doing them consistently has been a challenge for me. And so what I have done in the past couple of months is reassess, a few months or so, is just reassess where I am in my life and where I am in my project. So I intended, really, really intentionally have worked hard on finishing up all of my projects, every construction that I have been working on for the past 3 years. Of course, it's my husband and I, but for the past 3 years, to just be done with it, like to be finished in 2025. Like I am not doing, I swear, let me say something. My husband can't, he says he does not believe me because I always come up with something new, and I come up with things that, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that. But let me say something. I am completely done. Okay, with doing anything, any more projects that has to be done. It would have to be something minor, such as maybe a can of paint that you may have to purchase to do, to redo a particular area. That's minor stuff. And of course, my husband can do the painting, or I do painting too sometimes, because I've painted floors, I've painted, different areas. So it's not like, I'm talking about minor things like that. That's pretty cool. Now, when it comes down to big projects that really cost a lot of money, that's what I'm running away from, because I find that if you don't stop yourself, you'll keep going and going and going, and that really, inhibits the process of just being able to enjoy what it is that you've built, and what it is that just to be able to relax and to have that soft space. So for me, I just want to be able to just relax, and so that's where I'm going into 2025. I'm going in 2026, or I keep saying into 2026. I'm going in with a mind, a mentality where soft life is encouraged, and where I just focus on me. So living overseas, from from the US, where the rat race is always on, you learn to adapt to the quietness, and you learn to adapt to a space where that is inviting and that is pleasant, right? For you, and you surround yourself with the kind of things that makes you happy and peaceful. However, there are times, well, when you are in construction mode, it's hard to find that particular piece, because you are constantly dealing with workers. You're constantly dealing with run into the store, run into the sawmill, run into, you know, to the city, run into wherever it is, and you're constantly calling somebody to bring this or bring that. So, some delivery person to do something. So you're not really quiet, and you're not really that peaceful, because you are really in the mode of getting things done, which these are things that have to be done. You don't have a choice. So for me, I have found that finding that place of solitude, relaxation, whatever you want to call it, it's really been tough. And it's been tough. I understood better than I can say it, because I'm experiencing it, right? I understood the moment when I said, okay, I really want to relax. But then as soon as I say that, I get up and I do something else. Or as soon as I say, yes, oh my God, today's the day I'm going to just splurge. I'm just going to sleep late. I remember I have something else to go do. Or if I say, okay, I'm just going to enjoy something nice to eat, then in the middle of eating, I will get up and do something else, because something else has to be done. So really finding that place when you're under construction is just really, really difficult. So for me, I've just been very, very intentional about going into 2026 with that place where I'm relaxed, where I'm peaceful, where I want to invite that humbled spirit and humbled, um, you know, space all around me. So this is where I am. This is where I am. So 2026, this is what I want to do. I want to do life differently. All right. So I am, if you didn't know me, I am Donnette, and I am repatriation, right? I'm in my repatriation phase, going on 3 years now back to my home country, which is Guyana, South America. I came back about 3.5 years ago, almost 4 years ago. But I have gone back once to the U.S. I came back from the U.S. after living abroad for 35 years, and then coming here back to Guyana. But I've been back only once. And I don't know that I'm feeling very encouraged to go back at this point, but I'm excited to be able to say that I am at the completion of my project, 95% done, 99% happy. I've got that 5% that I still need to get done, which is my yard space, or what I call my courtyard, at the venue, and I want to get that done. But I will not be touching that project until 2027. 2026 is made for peace, relaxation, travel, um, just being in that soft space and enjoying, everything that I've done so far, everything my husband have done, just to be able to travel together, to be able to relax, and to be able to enjoy life, and not be stressed out over something or an next. And I, like I've said, over and over, I am not a stressful person. However, when it comes down to getting things done, I am gung ho about making it happen. Like, I just want it done today. Like, I want it done yesterday, actually. And so for me, it's a hard place to be, to say, okay, well, yes, I'm going to get it done next week, instead of, getting up and do it now. Like, I can't get it done next week. I would say I'm going to get it done next week, but as soon as I have some time, I'm on it. I'm getting it done. I'm always cleaning. I'm always doing something. So I'm always busy. So 2026, I want to be able to shed all those things from me. Like, I want to shed that spirit of, okay, I got to be busy. I got to be doing something. I got to be, working with a contractor. I got to be worrying about, this project coming up next, or whatever it is. So that is not where I want to be in 2026, right? So I want to be able to enjoy this repatriation process. So coming back from the US, coming to Guyana, it was never supposed to be where I continued to work this hard, because we have been working hard. And to be honest with you, we have. But I don't think that it was unexpected. I think we knew we would have to work hard, but I don't think we knew that completely how hard it would be. But we have held it down really nicely, because even when the contractors are doing their work, you're still working. So don't be fooled that, okay, the contractors are coming in and you're doing, because you have a venue, you have, if you live on in the same area where they're doing contract contractual work, you have to also work with the cement, and you have to clean this up, and you have to clean that up, because these guys in Guyana, they're really, really not good. They're horrible, horrible at cleaning up after themselves when they're done doing your project. I can attest to that, and I'm not afraid to say that. Um, However, I have also met some wonderful, wonderful contractors, and I've said this before, who have come here and worked and done some wonderful, they take pride in their craft. And I appreciate those people who have done that. And for the most part, I've worked with contractors on each of the projects that have done their part. But are they really not tidy enough? When they're done, yes, they are like that. They're very, very all over the place. Like, just you leave your stuff and go. Or you also have to be aware that sometimes some people will come in and break something else that, some other contractor have done, and then they just leave it, and then you have to be responsible for it and all that stuff. So it's been hard work, So I'm not gonna tell you it hasn't been. But when you love something and when you're committed to it, you don't work hard. What you do, you develop a labor of love for everything that is happening. Like, you don't, you see where the progress is, you appreciate the progress, and you embrace every bit of anything that you're going through, to make that possibility of your dreams happen, or all those possibilities of your dream happen. Um, I feel like as though I got to a place where I'm comfortable enough to say, okay, well, 2026 is going to be just a relaxing phase. Um, I don't know. I mean, if you ever have any questions for me, like you can always just, Google, like you can really email me at Donnette 2003 at yahoo.com and just ask me any question that you want to on building overseas, and how I did it. And I want to remind you that we're not looking at a millionaire, of course, and we're not. You're looking at an ordinary person who just decided to put their money into something else rather than leaving it, spending it however and recklessly, just to take that $500 and put it into blocks, or take that $500 and put it into zinc sheets, or take it and put it into whatever it is. The fact that you are committed to making things better, for you and for your future generations is what I did, right? And what we all can do. So, even when we think that we don't have enough to make it happen, right? Because sometimes we think that we don't, because we know that, okay, we got other responsibilities and other things to do. But the reality of it is that we will take that same money and we will spend it elsewhere, and we will spend it on things that are not necessarily beneficial to us, or can't see it as a gain, but it takes away from your pocket. So for me, I have been disciplined enough, and for my husband, of course, been disciplined enough to do things the right way financially. Not that we have millions of dollars, or endless money saved to put into to a project like this. It's a matter of you making a decision that this is what you want to do with your finances, and to take that money and to put it where it needs to go, right? So that's a difference, where people feel like as though, oh, okay, well, oh yeah, they must have had a whole, lot of money sitting up someplace to do this or to do that. No, I think that it's just being disciplined with your finances. It's just being disciplined about what it is that you want or what you expect from your life, right? And then taking that time, um, taking that money and putting it where, where your dreams are, or where your dreams ought to be. So next year in 2026, I plan to travel. So that's getting away from the hustle and bustle of building overseas. I plan to travel. So I want to, definitely I'm going to touch back the US in 2026. I want to do Africa. I want to visit the continent. I don't know where just yet, but I want to visit the continent in 2026. I probably want to go someplace close by, in 2026 as well, close to Guyana. So probably Brazil, Suriname, different places. So 2026 is a year of travels for me. So I plan to do much, much more. So for almost 4 years ago, when I started this process of repatriation and building, overseas, building back in Guyana. I know some people probably didn't know whether I was going to follow through or not with with some of the things that I was saying that I wanted to do. But, here it is, almost 4 years later, 3.5 years later, where, I actually did what I said I was going to do. So I think it's just about the commitment level that we have towards the places that we want to go in this life. So coming back to Guyana was part of my commitment and what it is that I wanted to do, and that's what I did, right? Coming back, staying in the U.S. was no longer an alternative for me. In terms of, I love the U.S. I have nothing against the U.S. I celebrate. I have the U.S. flag all over my venue, so it's not the U.S. that I'm against. It's the pricing, the bills, the excessive, requirement to pay more and more to live. It is the possessiveness of, just growing up in a culture where we always want more and more and more, and we have to pay in order to get more and more and more. But then we don't need all that stuff that we have, or we don't need all the stuff that we keep purchasing, right? So to live, I don't think I'm a minimalist. I wouldn't say that at all, because I love nice things, but I don't like paying for nice things. Like, I like buying nice things at nice prices, right? So, but I also will buy cheaper. So I like buying cheaper, but I also like nice things. So that's pretty much, what I want to do in 2026. This is where I am now, and this is and where I want to be, right? And to be disciplined and to be able to say, okay, Lord, take me to a place that is higher than I, like, just so I can be peaceful and to always be able to embrace beauty, and just to be humbled. This is where you want to be. This is where all of us want to be, mentally, spiritually, physically. We want to be in a better place, in a happier space. And so, making the plan in 2026 to right within the new place or the new space that I am now, I've now relocated to live in that space of beauty, peace, and now, not so much construction, is really going to be a good thing. So 2026, I look forward to that softer life, and I just want to just be able to embrace it and have a great time, traveling to the continent, traveling to Brazil, traveling back to the U.S., and doing different things. But thank you guys so much, and thank you for tuning in and being there, um, and talking to me. All right, whenever you tune in. So I'm Donnette, and once again, welcome to my vlog. If you haven't subscribed, do so. It's really an informative or informational vlog. It's not about, showing a whole bunch of different stuff or traveling places or anything like that, but it is for those people who are interested in relocating, and back to their home countries, or at least giving it some thought. It's a place where you can see that someone else has done it, and here it's and I tell you the truth about how I did it or how I'm doing it, and to see if it's something that you will consider. Do you want to move back, or do you want to move out of the USA and go to someplace else? Lots of Americans are traveling and living overseas. Millions and millions of Americans do it, right? So, and for those of us who are from different places and have lived in the U.S. for so many decades, coming back to our home is something that is precious to those of us who make that decision to do so. And for those of us who don't want to do so, that's okay too. You don't have to. And it's not something that I'm implying at all. I'm just saying for those who want to. This is a space where you can come and you can feel comfortable to talk to me about it, and I can talk to you. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you, and I will see you again. Bye bye.